Welcome to Nucamp's open house. I am Ludo Farage, the founder and CEO of Nucamp, and with me I have the wonderful Zandra Kubota. Hey Zandra, how are you doing?
Hey, doing good, Ludo. How's it?
Pretty good. So we were together actually for about 15 minutes chatting before the beginning of this stream, and suddenly Zandra dropped off. But we think it may be actually the streaming platform that we're using. So uh, fingers crossed, touching wood, that we're going to be able to stream the whole thing without any technical issues. Anyway, Zandra, thank you for being here. Zandra is a Nucamp advisor and instructor as well. You may have talked to her over the phone if you scheduled the meeting, and you may have had the pleasure then to meet with Zandra already. I'm seeing a ton of people here joining. Hello, Emo. Hello, Cassandra, Michael. Bye, Bridget. Great to have you in here. So here's what's going to happen. For the next 30 minutes, we are going to walk you through Nucamp, what our coding bootcamp is about, what our curriculum are about, the chances of getting a job after attending our bootcamp. So very much 30 minutes of us kind of really going through those details. And then the last 30 minutes, we're going to open it up to a Q&A. And so what we'll do is we'll go through your questions here. So you can be either on YouTube or on Facebook. Type your questions into the chat and we'll see it here. And we'll just answer your question. And Tiffany, salut, comment vas-tu? It's a pleasure to have you here as well. That's a little bit of French for those who didn't realize that. All right, so let's get going. So very first question, of course, that everyone is asking or wondering is about what is Nucamp exactly? Because when you look at our website, when you read our reviews, you wonder, well, there's something bizarre here. Not everything is like what every other coding bootcamp is showing. And in particular, really, this is because we are very much driven by a social mission to make coding education truly affordable and available for everyone. And so what that means is we have the most affordable tuition out there. It's under $2,000. And we are also in the most number of locations in the US. So if you go to our website, you'll find that we are probably very close to a city near you. And even though we are online right now, we really have local communities that are very strong, made of aspiring developers, made of instructors. And all of that, really, we've been very proud to be able to share that we've been rated the #1 coding bootcamp in the US. So if you go check us out on Course Report or Career Karma, if you look at the graduates reviews, you'll find that we've been the most rated and the highest rated coding bootcamp in the US for a couple of months now. So that's great testimonial, of course, of what we've been able to deliver to past students. So how do we compare? And that's something that if you're here, you probably are in the process of researching coding bootcamps and really trying to figure out, okay, which one fits your style. And the very first place that almost everyone, for very good reasons, are looking into is online bootcamps or online learning platforms, like Coursera, Udemy, things that are extremely affordable and very accessible. I mean, if you have $10 in your pocket, you can buy 200 hours worth of content. It's great quality, very engaging, and you will think, well, there's so much great content for such a very low price available. That's going to be my path. I'm going to be a self-learner. I'm going to do it on my own. And the problem with that often is only a very few people are able to teach themselves to code. And there's actually research done on that, and really it's about 3%. So the self-taught route is a very valid route. And we will always encourage someone to start there because you're going to learn so much. You're going to check that indeed coding is something that you like, that you want to continue. But chances are you're going to find yourself after 6 months or 3 months or 9 months pretty much wondering, okay, what am I doing here? Like, I'm not making progress. And you're going to search a little bit more structure. And so that's what often you will actually look into the traditional boot camps. And so you will go from, fully online, super affordable, very accessible, to something that really is kind of a traditional school. So you will look for a campus in your city. Oftentimes, if you want to really benefit from that experience, you'll be contemplating quitting your job so that you can be full-time. You will be contemplating taking on a loan because these traditional boot camps, the tuition is around $10, $15, sometimes $30,000. And so you will be really looking at taking a risk in a way. If you have a job, and yes, you may not like that job, but you also know that's the job that pays the bill right now. You will really be looking at, okay, am I going to really quit my job for 3 months, accumulate debt, and then go on to a full-time, great experience probably, but still take a big gamble in thinking that, am I going to get a job right after that? And chances are you're not going to get a job right after you've graduated. It's going to take 3 months, 6 months, 9 months. What are you going to do in the meantime? Are you going to go back to your old job? So there's a ton of really questions and risks associated with traditional boot camps. Even though they offer great experiences, it's really not something that many working adult professionals really want to do at the end of the day. And so what we did is we very much, from the beginning with Nucamp, took the best of both worlds. We looked at the affordability, simplicity of access that online learning provides. And we looked at the immersiveness, the experience that you get with a very well-structured curriculum, with the support of instructors. And we brought that together everywhere in the US for tuition that's under $2,000. So that's very much where we stand. And as you can tell, and let me actually now go to the next slide. We've been doing that quite a while now. We were funded in 2017. We had 9,000 unique students enrolled. 2,000 bootcamps have been launched. We have a roster of 300 instructors, and I'll go back to the instructors. And as I said, we have reached over 1,000 reviews from students, reviews that we do not pay. We do not tell people what to say, but just go out there, make their reviews. And we are the #1 rated on-course report, as well as Career Karma if you just look at the graduates' reviews. So the big question is, why would you actually go to a more expensive coding bootcamp, especially now that everyone is online, really? Money, sold, where do I pay? Yeah. Let me answer that one real quick. Just online. You go online, you put in your credit card, or and you'll be done. All right. So we have 4 bootcamps, and if you had joined this open house last month, you will only have seen 3. We just recently announced our backend SQL and DevOps with Python bootcamp. We're very excited about this one. But let me tell you about the very first one right now, because this is really the important one because of the timeline. The Web Development Fundamentals Bootcamp, the 4 weeks bootcamp, is the one that you want to take if you're still wondering if coding is for you. It's $349, 4 weeks. And in 4 weeks, you'll be able to check a lot of kind of boxes. Is coding for me? Check. Do you like it? Check. Do you like how Nucamp is teaching you? Because that's, of course, another dimension, right? So you may actually like coding, but maybe Nucamp formula is not for you. So if you are registered for that one in 4 weeks, you will have checked all those boxes, and then you'll be in a position to decide, okay, where do I want to go next? Do I want to be full stack? Do I want to be front end only? Do I want to be back end only? And so that's really what we have to offer. Thank you, Susie Q. Nucamp Instructions and Ludo are amazing. I'm guessing you've said you were mentioning Nucamp Instructors. Really appreciate that. And as I said, continue to ask your questions here, either on YouTube or Facebook. we'll actually go through those questions in about 20 minutes now. Okay, so let me tell you a little bit of the backend SQL and DevOps with Python Bootcamp. We launched it 2 weeks ago. We're extremely optimistic and proud of this bootcamp. It really fills a big gap in what the industry is looking for. Before launching the backend bootcamp with Python, we had the JavaScript full stack with actually a very much emphasis on front end. So it's a very complementary to what we're offering as well. And you'll be learning Python fundamentals, data structures and algorithms. You'll be learning SQL. You'll be learning modern software engineering and DevOps, including CI/CD, including Docker, Kubernetes. And something we're very proud of as well is we're going to touch on all 3 clouds. And that's very important. I mean, some coding bootcamps out there are just looking at Azure. Some others are looking at AWS with Java. There's a big mix and match of options, but no one really is giving you first Python, which is really the #1 programming language for the backend, and no one is really covering all 3 clouds so that you're really equipped from that standpoint. Wow, I see a ton of people being supportive of what we do here. That's really great to read. Thank you so much. All right, so I keep messing. There we go. The Fair Student Agreement, it's our way of really addressing the complexity and sometimes really obscure income sharing agreement that you may be tempted to sign. I will say just be careful whenever you're contemplating signing an ISA or income share agreement. There's a ton of clauses that may not be very positive for you or may not really be in your favor. And what we have to offer for you is something very transparent that is legal in all states, which is a very traditional student loan. So right now, again, for that 4 weeks web development bootcamp that's starting at the end of June, you can just pay using your credit card, register online, $349, and be done with it. But then you can actually decide to enroll in both the web dev bootcamp and the following full stack bootcamp for 22 weeks. And so the total cost for that will be $349 plus $1,800. And with some like $500 of interest, pretty much, you will actually have a 26 weeks bootcamp for just under $2,900. And so you go to our partner Climb Credit to enroll in there. You'll only have to pay $50 for each enrollment. And so that's a great way to really kind of plan ahead and really bundle, I will say, the 4 weeks and the 22 weeks into a 26 weeks bootcamp at a very, very low price point as well. The curriculum format and logistics. So it's a very straightforward one. First, it's part-time, something you have to really appreciate if you're working, if you have a job. During the week, Monday through Friday, you will be working, following a very prescriptive path of daily tasks, but you could actually do that at your own pace. So there is no set time. So you can really work that around your work schedule or whatever you have to do really during the week. You are placed in a classroom of 12 students. You have instructor support. And then on Saturday from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. in your region or city, you will have access to a weekly workshop, 4-hour workshop. And you're going to work collaboratively with your fellow students, with your instructor. And that's really going to be the culmination of your week. And then it's a rinse and repeat. Every week, you're going to do the same. Let's talk about our instructors real quick, although these are really the main reason why students enjoy our bootcamp is these instructors are actually working developers, professionals in their field. They are seasoned individuals, and they're teaching with Nucamp because they care. They're not teaching with Nucamp because of the money. They don't need the money really, and our compensation is fair, but it's not the top one in the industry, I will say. No, they are teaching with us because they believe in our social mission, they believe in what we do, they believe in really keeping our tuition low, and they want to help their community. And so you have a ton of feedback and testimonials from students really praising our instructors for how much investment they're putting in them. And so you're going to really meet at least 3 to 4 different instructors. They're going to tell you about different backgrounds. Some are working in Fortune 500. Some are working in startups. Some are working for governments or freelance. And so that's really going to be a great addition to your experience. There's a ton of questions that I'm seeing. Continue to ask them, and we'll go through them with Zandra in about 15 minutes now. And Zandra, this is all yours now.
Yeah, thanks, Ludo. So as you already touched on a bit, differences in languages, JavaScript being the number one that you're going to encounter if you touch web development at all. So yes, I saw a couple of questions in the chat about JavaScript. We'll get to that. But just to partially answer, since it's the top language, that's what you're gonna really want to focus on, and that's what we'll teach you at Nucamp. And across the country, you can see a average salary in the range of 70,000, and it depends on where you are, of course, which job market you live in or you live near. Things are changing a bit with remote recently, but that's kind of the national average in the US. Some of you might be joining from other countries, but that's the US. And we have a nice blog post about that at nucamp.co. If you click on our blog, you can find the Getting a Job After a Bootcamp article, which goes into a little more detail there. Thanks, Ludo. And now just to go through the curriculum and what you'll actually be learning, since that's probably a large part of why you're here this morning. So if you haven't touched on JavaScript yet, and we know most of you have maybe dipped your toe in HTML and CSS a little bit and you're getting excited, but you're hesitating at JavaScript, then you want to take the 4-week fundamental course. It's going to give you a good grounding in HTML, CSS, and the basics of JavaScript. We have a little quiz if you've already started doing JavaScript. There's a quiz in our frequently asked questions page at nucamp.co. And you can see if you need that course or not. That dovetails really nicely into the next course, which is Bootstrap. And in the full stack, it's the first course. In the front end, it's also the first course, the first segment of the bootcamp. And you're going to go deeper into JavaScript, and you're also going to learn this CSS framework called Bootstrap. There's a lot of them out there. You've probably seen some other ones like Tailwind or something like that, but Bootstrap is by far the most popular or the most common, the one that you're going to encounter on probably on the job. So that's why we hit you up with some Bootstrap, and it's a quick way to make a really good looking website, even though you're still learning CSS. And you're going to be doing. You're not going to just be watching videos and trying to just copy. You're actually going to be building along with Nucamp. Then the next segment of the bootcamp after that is web development with React. And React is a dynamic framework. So it helps you to make dynamic sites. Unlike Bootstrap, which is just a pretty framework, you're going to use Bootstrap and React together and make a responsive page that will not only be, resizable depending on the device size that you get with Bootstrap, but it's also going to be dynamic in that you actually get different pages served up to the user based on what they do, how they interact with the web app. So it's really going to be a huge leap forward in your studies, and it's going to challenge you. but you'll hang in there and you won't even believe what you're able to create after that. And then the next one after that, these all kind of dovetail into each other. You'll be going into React Native. And React Native is a mobile development tool. It's a framework for creating apps either for iOS or Android, can be deployed to those app stores. Can even make Windows apps with React Native if you like. And you're going to go a little bit deeper into React, and you're going to push yourself a little bit further, making a mobile app. And you can also kind of recycle your previous project into a mobile app. And here, if you're going to graduate and you're just wanting to do the front end, you can graduate with us here and get your front end certificate of completion, and start hitting that job search. But if you're going to stay with us till the full stack course, you will have one more module, and it's called Node.js. And as Ludo mentioned, not only Python, but definitely Node is really very popular on the back end. So learning the how to use JavaScript on the back end is really going to help you out. And also, you'll be doing a little bit with authentication and Express. I kind of forget what else is up going on in that class, but it's a whole lot of introduction to the back end and some
There are
really
routes.
good
You're going to do,
foundation there.
REST API routes and MongoDB, Mongoose. Yeah.
Mongo, how could I forget? Okay, thanks, Ludo.
You're welcome. Yeah, I've seen a ton of questions around the projects.
Mhm.
Well, let me
Yeah.
actually go over that one if you want, Zendra. So so the questions around the projects. As a student, you're going to work on a learning project that's going to really follow you through the whole curriculum. And then you're going to work on your portfolio project, which is going to be really aligned to your learning week by week, month by month. And we've accumulated a ton of examples. So I'm clicking on that. Come on. It's supposed to open somewhere. No, it's not opening. There we go. It is opening. So if you go to our website, you'll find all those projects. It's actually a subset of what you have on YouTube. Let me pick one. That one was an honor project from Chiara. It's a reinvention of the calculator where you can actually store the value of some values and reuse them across, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, I really like that one.
Yeah, it was fun. Huh? Patrick really built a very interesting website, and you will think that it's a very traditional website, even it's a good-looking one. But then once you go into the back end, you realize how well architected and coded it is. So we really went the full way with routes. I don't know if we can see it here.
That was a sneak
Yes.
attack with that one. I was
Yeah,
like, okay, this looks like a regular website.
Yeah, and
I
it's
was like,
not.
dude.
So it's pretty awesome. You see all the routes here. So all the routes that he created. So very, very well thought out website. And then there's that one that I always like to show. Where is it? Oh yeah, Burger by Kenny and React is pretty awesome as well. We have a ton of project portfolio that our students are doing that are using React Native. And I know there was a question around that. So yeah, we teach React Native quite a bit. And so we're seeing those apps popping up. And then someone went the extra mile in the back end, building actually a live online chess game. So if you go here, at some point, I think, there we go.
Yeah, the chess one always works.
Yeah, using sockets on the back end to connect two players. And this is always amazing to see. There you go. So you can really, our students have been very creative in building all sorts of apps, and you can actually check them out on our website. All right, back to you, Zandra.
Okay. Yep. So thanks. You've seen some of those projects, and now you want to jump in and register. So we have the upcoming course. If you're going for fundamentals, definitely check out June 28th course. The early bird deadline is ending, as you can see highlighted here on the slide, on the 14th. So that's Monday. Here on the slide, it's just a mock-up with Bellevue, Washington. If you're not in Bellevue, just click change your community and you can register where you're at, or in one of the online time zones. You can register that way. Maybe take a look at that in another tab and click register when you're ready. Yeah, and then we have some scholarships for you too. So definitely go to nucamp.co/scholarships, check out what's available. We have awards for high school students who are recent grads, and we have awards for those who are kind of economically underserved or don't have access to the financing. Click on New You and read more about the requirements there. We have for veterans and active duty military Warrior Rising Scholarship. And then we have our Reskill America Scholarship in partnership with Career Karma for those who are adversely impacted by COVID-19. Definitely take a look there and read each one of the steps. They're neatly outlined with numbered bullet points, so everything is laid out for you there. Yeah, and then
Yeah, let
Ludo's
me
gonna
cover
go through
that.
this one. Yeah.
Yeah, so there are some questions around our career services. So we have 6 services to help you out once you graduate. We have one-on-one career advisor support that triggers as soon as you actually fill the survey right after graduating. We are seeking employers and reaching out to them monthly and inviting them to post their job opportunities to our job board in our system. The companies that do that and leverage that job board are really showing an interest in hiring Nucamp graduates. So these opportunities, and we have like once a week, we see one. Those opportunities are extremely qualified, and every time we post one, we have someone from the community. I mean, I'm not going to make promises, but we have a huge number of graduates that actually then can get a job through that program. So it's pretty awesome. We have a career development program that's online and self-paced. We are inviting you to hackathons after graduating. You can do resume checking also with your career advisor. We pay for 1 month of LinkedIn Premium membership that allows you to really get on the top, I will say, of the recruiters. And then you have lifetime access to the content and the community. Our employment rate changes actually kind of every day because it's based on the surveys that we send to our graduates. We send a survey every 3 months for up to a year. And when a graduate is employed and is applying their skills, we actually hit that number. And so right now, like 2 days ago, no, when was it? May 22nd, we were at 83% and 598 surveys. Let me see where we are actually right now. Let me actually put it up live. And so
Yeah, it's nice and updated.
Yeah, if I go here, you'll see that we are now at 82% with 606 survey answers. We are still at 75% graduation rate. But here you see for May, we ended at 81% with 603 surveys. And then in April, we were at 79%. So there's a huge amount of transparency and clarity in our numbers. You know exactly what they're based on. You know exactly how we calculate them. And we're pretty proud of those, obviously. All right, let me go back to the deck. We have tons of stories. Let me actually go also to our website to show them to you. Our graduate stories are very inspiring. And I'm going to connect. I saw a question here. Let me actually pull that question from John Doe. Hey, John. It's funny. First time I see someone really named John Doe. I guess it's not, right? So, John, your question is very good. Sophie here that you're seeing learned JavaScript, started an internship, and is now learning .NET as part of her internship. And they really hired Sophie because of the amount of work she's putting behind our portfolio projects. I think on the
GitHub, yeah.
article, yeah, her GitHub is really impressive. And so, yes, you can totally learn one language, be hired for another. You have to be willing to learn all the time. And that's what you're learning as well when you're joining a coding bootcamp, is to really, it's the mantra of always learning. And so, yeah. And of course, as I would say, you can also learn JavaScript with us as well as learning Python with us. That's going to cover a lot of grounds. So yeah, you can absolutely think along those lines. All right.
Yes.
Hey, 9:31. So this is the time where Zendra and myself are going to take your questions. So we're going to go back to your questions in the chat. Continue to ask them, and we'll get to them. We're going to have 30 minutes to do that. Zendra, do you see a specific question in here that we should answer?
Yep, from way back at the 02-minute mark, we had one from A Mehabmo 36.
Yes.
He's
Yeah.
he's in full stack now. Any chance you'll do cybersecurity? I don't think that's on the agenda anytime soon, but
Yeah,
we do
that's
touch
correct.
on it in Node. You will get some fundamentals there, with at least with authentication and some basics of cybersecurity.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, not a full-blown cybersecurity bootcamp at this time. Definitely an area where we will invest at some point, but we don't have a timeline for that yet. So yeah, sorry for that. But yeah, you will learn fundamentals of authentication, managing tokens in Node.js. That's one module. Just what else?
There was another one from Manny. I want to encourage Manny at 05 and 06, maybe 05. He tried a bunch of courses. I think a lot of people are probably in the same shoes.
Yeah. Yes, I mean that's. I think I saw him making money. Yeah, there you go. That's maybe that comment is even more.
Kind of gets right in there, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's tempting whenever you see a sale that tells you that you're going to buy 200 hours of great content for just $10. What are you going to do? You're going to buy it. And then you're going to shelve it, pretty much. You're going to maybe spend 10 minutes, half an hour, and it's going to be very hard to stay committed, because one of the challenge of learning to code is there are so many things you could be doing. You could be going in so many different directions that you have to find a way to structure your experience. But if you don't know, you just don't know what you don't know. So you don't know how to structure it. And that's a reason why, yeah, you will start Udemy and you go through a certain degree, and then you'll start CS50, and then you'll start Free Code Camp, and then you'll do something else. And at the end of the day, you could be spending 6 to 9 months. Some people call it tutorial hell. But you could be wasting, I would say. I mean, nothing of that is waste, because you still learn, but it doesn't accrue. It doesn't build up to anything that's really that you can actually turn around and say, hey, I'm qualified to do a job. So that's why people really join coding bootcamps, and that's why we see a ton of people joining Nucamp who were in your shoes, Manny. All right.
Yeah, I guess we don't have to address Spencer Lee Meredith. If you're getting your interview for instructing, that they will get back to you, instructor admin, so don't worry. And we saw another one from Chris Tour at 07 minutes. Been comparing boot camps.
Yeah.
And working full time.
Yeah, you want to take it?
Yeah. So Chris, that's exactly what Nucamp is addressing, like folks who need to keep working in order to pay for the boot camp. I mean, if you didn't need to work and pay for the boot camp, you wouldn't need the boot camp probably. So Nucamp is, as Ludo brought out early on, that kind of hybrid. You're getting some guidance, you're getting an instructor, and you're getting a solid curriculum and support and structure. So you can still have the flexible part-time study with Nucamp and have your workshop on the weekends on Saturday. So just make sure to try to schedule your study time during the week. I know for me, it's I got to cut out the Netflix or whatever I got to do to buckle down. Put an alert in your phone, make your calendar. Tell your mom to nag you, whatever you got to do to study during the week, and it'll help you to know that the workshop is Saturday, and it'll kind of motivate you to get your study done during the week.
Great. Thank you.
Mm.
All right. This question from Georgie Dank. Are you planning on adding a blockchain course? So kind of a similar response than the cyber security question that we got earlier. We don't have immediate plans to add a blockchain curriculum or bootcamp, but that's obviously something we could be doing in the future. I will just not make plans around that.
Mm-hmm. And at the 10-minute mark, there was a question from Ronald Edwards about placement test, and I can take that one if you like.
Yeah.
Or you can take it. Yeah.
Not well. I don't know if it's placement test or admission test. I'm not clear because placement test. I don't know what that will be about. Admission.
Our quiz.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You want to talk about that?
Sure. Yeah. If you're not sure which, maybe you're thinking, should I take the 4 weeks fundamentals or should I take the jump right into full stack? Not quite sure. You can use our link in our FAQ, and maybe I'll drop it in the chat as well.
And I just displayed it as well on the screen.
Great. Yeah, there's a little quiz you can take to assess yourself. You don't have to let us know the result. If you get an 85% or better, without guessing too much, you can consider yourself ready for full stack or front end. So you can kind of bypass the fundamentals course.
That's right. All right. So
let's see what else.
So John is asking questions about the career services. I think we addressed those in the slide, but I will just recap them. So yes, we do help you get a job. We have 6 different career services, including a one-to-one career coaching that will help you with your resume. We do connect you with employers through our job board. So we reach out to employers. They post their jobs knowing fully that they'll be hiring Nucamp graduates. And it is the conversation, the 30-minute call with career advisors, that's indeed the typical length, but you can have as many calls right now as you want. So we do limit it to once a week, only one 30-minute call with your advisor a week, but there's no limit at this time on the number of times you can schedule that call with your advisor.
Nice. I saw one at, I believe it was the 7-minute mark.
Oh, 7.
6 minutes, sorry.
Okay.
Jumping back a bit, courses in HCI. That kind of goes along with the other 2 inquiries. No, we don't have anything in HCI. I think that's like human interaction or something like that.
Human-computer interaction? Sure. Oh, yeah, gotcha.
Yeah.
I was wondering what it was. I was like, I wasn't going to say anything because I wasn't clear what that was. Human-computer interaction. I will associate that with UI UX or UI design. That will be something we will probably invest in earlier rather than sooner compared to the other, compared to cybersecurity or blockchain. So definitely something that we will tackle, not immediately, but in the near future. Mm-hmm. I saw Tiffany's question at the 14 minutes mark, I think. Mobile app dev, wanting to learn React Native. Yes, it is well covered in our curriculum. I think I showed a few examples of students really leveraging that knowledge gained during the curriculum to build their own React Native apps. And so that's something that, yeah, we are covering pretty well right after React.
Yeah. I saw one at the 15-minute mark from Chris Tower, if I'm reading it properly.
Yeah.
What if our job is centered around the weekend? Almost never off on Saturdays. So we don't really have a great solution for you there, Chris, because the workshops are Saturdays, and you really, really need the workshops. I mean, that's basically what you're a large part of the value that you're paying for is the Saturday workshops. So if at all possible, try to work your schedule around your goal of completing a boot camp. Try to rework it so that you can attend on Saturdays. And we understand if you miss one or two over the course of the 22 weeks. That's not, we're all adults and things happen in life, but really you want to be coding along with your cohort and putting in those hours on Saturday with your instructor. So if you have any more on that, Ludo, you can feel free.
Yeah, this is something we don't. No, I don't think I have much more actually. To be honest with you, I was going to try to add, but I don't.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't. The big value of our bootcamp is in those Saturday workshops with your instructor. So if you can't actually make that consistently, it's going to be an issue, unfortunately, Chris. All right, there's another question at this 18-minute mark. How do I choose between backend with Python course and the full stack bootcamp? Well, the good news is you actually don't have to choose. You can do both. They are super complementary. But let me give you like another answer where if you had to choose, the full stack curriculum is in JavaScript, and it's actually very heavy on front end and just 1 month on back end. So if you are very much oriented around building websites, the design of those websites, everything that's really UI, you will probably go towards the full stack curriculum. If you believe you're more of a back-end person, meaning you really want to go into the code, building algorithms and manipulating data, but not so much, the creative mind that will appreciate front-end, then you will go to the Python course. But as I said, both together will be extremely powerful because you will have really front-end experience and then 1 month of back-end with full stack, and then another 3 months of backend with Python. And so those two together could be very, very powerful in the industry. So I would also consider that if I were you.
Nice. Yeah, nicely put. So I noticed at let's see here, a lot of support for Bootstrap here. And someone was saying at the 21-minute mark, Ronald Edwards, will your bootcamp help me with getting a government job? As Ludo already mentioned, some of our instructors are working in government, whether it's not quite sure about the rates, but federal or local or municipal in your city. There are many, many, many government jobs out there. A lot of state universities are administered by the state government, so that would be a government job. So there's a lot of opportunities, and it just depends on what you're eligible for personally. Sometimes it's visa status and security checks and that kind of thing as well. So we can't say definitively, but the skills will be there if you put in the work in the bootcamp.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I will add a few elements to that. We're going to give you the skills. I'm actually interested in the comment you're making that I took a year course with Code with Mosh, but I can't use it on my resume. So I'm going to try to extrapolate here. If the requirement for the job, the government job, is to have a degree, for example, a coding bootcamp will not grant you a degree. So if that's the requirement, no coding bootcamp will actually lead you to have a degree. That's one thing. So if it's not a degree problem, definitely you'll get badges showing your progress, and you'll get a certificate of completion. If you go to LinkedIn, actually, let me go to my LinkedIn because I see that popping every day almost. Let's see if we're lucky and I can show you that here. But we have a ton of people really advertising there. There we go. Here's one. So you'll have that type of certificate of completion. This one is just for the course. You'll get one as well for the end of the bootcamp. But that will actually be something that you'll be able to showcase as well. I got lucky here. Front. All right. What else?
Yep. I see a bunch more questions. Thought we skipped a few, but oh, good job on the accomplishments on your resume. I like that. You should definitely mention them. Let's see here.
Let me pick that one.
Payments, I guess.
Sorry.
On a 28-minute mark.
Okay. Oh, just 28.
Another one.
Yeah,
Payments,
I'll get.
yep.
Hold on.
Michael Godfrey.
Yes. Gotcha.
Yeah, so you're interested in full stack but confused about the payments. So we have multiple options now, which we didn't really have so many this time last year. So you're
right.
joining at a good time, as we keep getting better and better, if we do say so ourselves. And you can apply for Climb credit if you want to have those smaller monthly payments. Yes, it's a loan. It's an affordable loan, and it's different than our best deal payments. You'll see those columns if you're on the desktop. Best deal, faster repayment, and I forgot what was the other one. I'm not looking at the
Most
site.
flexible. It's right there. The most flexible is deferred, actually. Yeah.
So you'll be able to apply for different options with Climb, or you can pay with our default payment as soon as you register with the credit or debit card, and it's in installments with no interest. So those are your really good options there. We're constantly improving, so if you have any feedback on that, definitely send us an email. I am Zandra at nucamp.co. You can also send an email to our general inbox, info@nucamp.co, if you have any more questions on that.
All right. Oh, there's a follow-up from Ronald. I passed the front end with 98%. I need official paperwork from a school. So yes, indeed. So that we provide. We provide transcripts. We provide, as I said, a certificate. So you will have official paperwork from a school. As long as they're not asking for a degree, which we don't grant, you'll have official paperwork from a school. And I will tell you, since you passed front-end development already, it's going to be a great experience for you to go through the program. You're probably going to learn more, but you're not going to be as challenged, of course, as a beginner. So yeah, you can definitely consider that. So let me actually go back also to Michael's question around what if I'm interested in data analytics and data science. So we don't offer a bootcamp in that space yet, but our Python bootcamp is actually preparing you for a data analytics and data science bootcamp. There's a ton of guidance on the internet right now that says don't enroll in data analytics and data science if you have not learned to code before. Like, you cannot make that jump straight into data analytics and data science. It's not going to work so well for you. You really want to learn to code first, and then you go over data analytics and data science. And so what I will say is enroll in our Python backend. You learn Python, which is obviously the default language for data science. You'll learn PostgreSQL, which is also the default database for data analytics and data science. And after that, you'll be very much ready to enroll in that type of bootcamp. And guess what? That's one of the couple of bootcamps that we are very serious about implementing and delivering as well. So maybe if you enroll today, maybe at the end, you'll be able to enroll into, our data science bootcamp when we have it ready.
Nice. Good answer. So I like the data science interest too. I think Paul also is really into that. It is good. Definitely, if you're starting with web, get those coding fundamentals, as Ludo mentioned.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Is there more specific data on job outcomes from Chris? Yes, if you go to our website, you're going to find the data that I showed. We tell you exactly the number of surveys, what were the 2 questions that we asked, and then you have a ton of details around our career services as well. So there you go.
Nice.
And you have also access to our stories. We publish a new graduate story every week. So we have quite a bit now to share with you. We only started doing those testimonials a few months ago. So of course these are very recent, but I mean, we've had more in the past, obviously. So that's it.
I like to jump a bit to Mike Park at 32 minutes.
Yeah.
See the class schedule, because I get a lot of questions about the class schedule, the Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. And what does the week look like? So Mike, good question. You'll be studying on your own during the week on a flexible schedule, as I kind of touched on that earlier, but you'll have support of your instructor. You'll be able to send messages to your instructor if you need help, if you get stuck. We actually encourage you to do that. You also have our Nucamp community, including advanced students that are ahead of you by a month or 2 or 3, and our alumni that have graduated and are still supporting the Nucamp community. And you'll be able to ask questions there. And you'll want to apply yourself every day. You'll want to study every day and not try to start your material on Thursday and Friday night. You definitely want to study a little bit each day, and then you'll be ready for the Saturday morning workshop.
Great. And we're getting closer to the end of the stream. So I look forward into the questions that we did not answer yet, and I'm gonna try to address the question that I'm seeing being asked quite often, which is when are we going back in person? And so let me take this one. There we go. So Jesse is committed to join, but only if in-person resumes updates. It's a fantastic question, because we also want in-person to resume as soon as we can. It's quite challenging for any school right now to get back to in-person because there's a huge amount of uncertainty. And so here's where we are, and pretty much every coding bootcamp is in that situation. Everyone has shifted online, as you know. So the instructors that we had in person are not necessarily there anymore for about a year. And for us to go back to in-person will really mean reinvesting in hiring locally, and taking on a lease with our co-working spaces. And here's the challenge. It's a county by county, city by city type of thing. And most states have a rule that says that if you have a student that's sick, you have to shut down. And there's a ton of procedures to then being able to reopen. So it's extremely complicated at this time still, although it's getting better, obviously, but it's still very complicated at this time for us to kind of, go full and go back online. We are building our plans right now. We are hoping to have something to say in September, but it's not 100% sure that we'll be able to be in person everywhere where we were in person before. So I guess my bigger point here is, if you're waiting for in-person to resume, I don't know how long you're going to wait. That's the issue. Because we may resume in person, but not in your city, for example. And so that's a tough situation. And I hear you. I 100% believe that in-person is great to really help students come together with their instructor, and it really reinforces that social learning experience. But we don't have clear directions to give you at this time, unfortunately. So Jesse, I'm sorry, I don't have a better answer, but that's where we are right now.
That's a good. I'm glad you handled that question, because that's a toughie.
It's a tough one.
Yeah, thanks. So, curriculum question from Sase at 34 minutes, and Tim also at 34 minutes. How is the curriculum, and how much HTML and CSS should we be familiar with? I guess, Tim, we already kind of answered your question. There's a quiz at our frequently asked questions page. I think I dropped the link already. Not sure if maybe I forgot to, but I'm pretty sure I put the link. And the curriculum is during the week. You got a lot of custom content videos. You have quizzes. We send you to do exercises like small coding exercises, and there are readings. So there's a lot of really good content. And then there's also interaction in our community chat, and also in your cohort specific forum. So it's group learning. You're learning together. You're not just struggling on your own with an online course. So it's a really good curriculum, and we hope you enjoy.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, it's pretty much everything in the kitchen sink that you've listed here. And then, of course, don't forget that 4-hour workshop on Saturday, which is very unique to our model, to Nucamp. True classroom environment with one instructor working collaboratively on the assignment of the week. So something we're really happy with, and students really enjoy as well. Do you see anything else? Oh, this one from Bijan Birams. I deal with imposter syndrome. What advice will you give to overcome it? It's and so you're not alone, as you know. I mean, there's a ton of writing on this one. Keep practicing, keep coding. My point will be, it goes away with time. Time and practice, it's going to go away. You are feeling this right now because everything seems new, and you're starting to realize how much you don't know, and progressively also realizing how much you know. But it feels like how much you don't know is so much bigger than what you know. And that's going to fix itself with time as you continue to learn. Which is also why you have to remember that a bootcamp has really two purposes. The very first one is to teach you and help you learn the fundamentals of programming as much as we can through JavaScript, Python, really give you all the tools and the experience that you're going to have to actually know how to code something and build projects. That's one aspect. The second aspect is to really get you into the mindset of always learning. So the bootcamp, once you graduate, it's not the end of your learning journey. It's just the beginning. That imposter syndrome is going to disappear, not at the end of the bootcamp. I mean, you're going to feel a little bit better, but actually maybe, as I said, you're going to just realize how much you know versus how much you don't know because you've actually learned something. But as you learn, continue through your bootcamp, after your bootcamp, as you continue to learn, apply your learning, practice, that's when the imposter syndrome is going to disappear after a while. Time, practice is going to be your best friend here.
Yeah,
we only have 1 minute left, Sandra.
That's really good. I thought that was going to be a nice spot to end it on, but yeah, I see that someone asked about a desktop. They didn't want to buy a computer. Yes, you can use a desktop because we are online, so you're good to go. We have computer specs listed at our website, so you can go to nucamp.co and click on the frequently asked questions page and look at the computer specifications.
That's right. All right, just that one last. How many hours per week of studies suggested? It's at the very beginning, the 4 weeks bootcamp, you can do like 2 to 3 hours per per day, not per week, per day, 2 to 3 hours per day. When you get into full stack, when you get into Python, it's going to go up to 3 to 4 to 5 hours. And then React, when React hits, it's going to be a solid 4 hours a day because it's going to be challenging. So with that, thank you very much, Zandra. Thanks a lot. Always great to have you with us from Hawaii. I don't know if we mentioned that at the beginning. It's the sun has appeared progressively for you.
Finally.
Awesome. How hot is it right now for you? Like 75, 80 already, or not that much?
Probably in the 70s now. Feels good.
Yeah. Cool. Awesome.
Cold.
Well, it was a pleasure talking to all of you or chatting with you online. Looking forward to seeing you in our bootcamps. Take care.
Bye.